Jade the Star, and in this video I'm going to be going over the different recording styles for UTAU, because this will, if you're familiar with this will be a bit of a refresher. Maybe you'll learn something new. If you're new to this and you're watching this video because you don't know what everything is, you'll also be learning things. So, hi, welcome. So, the first thing you'll notice at the top of the list is all these C's and V's everywhere. That's something that really confuses a lot of people. So every C stands for consonant and every V stands for vowel. So first up is CV, consonant vowel. It is the easiest to record and the easiest to OTAU, and the most well-known example is Defoko, who is also known as OpenUTAU. She's the voice that comes with classic UTAU. Next is CVVC, which is consonant, a vowel, consonant. It's about in the middle of recording difficulty for Japanese. One of the harder Japanese voice banks to OTAU, and a famous example is Kyune Aiko's Rock Loud voice bank. That is CVVC, and actually the version of her I have. Next is VCV, vowel, consonant, vowel. It's the hardest Japanese recording style, but it is easier to OTAU than CVVC, and a very famous example is the UTAU voice bank of Kasane Teto. Next is VCVVC, which is a vowel, consonant, vowel, vowel, consonant, and it is a fusion of these two. Up here, the VCV and the CVVC. It's recorded the same way as VCV, but it's OTAU'd as both VCV and CVVC. A famous example is Teto's newest voice bank, her OpenUTAU Japanese integration voice bank that's already set up for use in OpenUTAU. And the voice banks that I've been working on are actually on the setup. So, yay! The next one is C plus V, consonant plus vowel. It's like CV, it's easy to record. It's a little harder to OTAU, at least in my opinion. If you want to do this one, go ahead, give it a try. Vowels and consonants are recorded separately, and then you put them together when you actually use the voice bank. It can be used for any language. And the thing is, it's using it in UTAU or OpenUTAU is a lot like editing the phonemes in Vocaloid or Synth-V, because in Vocaloid and Synth-V you edit the consonant phonemes and the vowel phonemes separately to get it to sound how you want. So if you want a usage that feels more like that, this is the way to go, but it's not necessarily the smoothest. The next is VCCV, which is a vowel, consonant, vowel. It was developed as an English recording system and is derived from CVVC. It has been used to record and make other languages too. I actually have a VCCV Spanish rec list saved on my computer. it can be pretty hard to record, even with the tutorials made by its creator, CZ, especially at first. And, like, as you get used to it, it does get easier. But if you want to do appends, I personally don't recommend it. But I actually tried to do it and actually ended up finding a different system that works better for my purposes. So the first version of both Neko and Kurai English is VCCV, but they're not famous. A famous example would be Kune Aiko Rock Loud English. Although that uses a beta version of VCCV. So the next on the list is arpusing. I don't like that one as much. I don't actually know how to pronounce this one. It's another system of recording for English, and it is derived from Alphabet. It's easier to record than VCCV, and if you want to do appends, this is the format I recommend. It is notoriously hard to OTAU, though. Like, it is to the point, the difficulty is to the point that it is highly recommended that you have more sampler generate an OTAU, even though more sampler is notoriously inaccurate with its generated OTAUs. It's more accurate on its VCV OTAUs, but it's still inaccurate. So you'll still have to go in with set param or VLabeler to correct it and put it where you need it. It requires a lot of repeating of the same symbols and combinations, especially with consonants and certain vowel phonemes, like this one that's represented by an A and an O. This phoneme really gets on my nerves because it's used to represent two different sounds. It is used to represent the vowel in all, that all, and the vowel in or, which really personally upsets me. Like, VCCV handles this a lot better and is overall smoother. So if you're wanting a smoother English voice bank, VCCV is the way to go. Whereas if you're wanting an easier time recording, which is like the only upside arpusing has for me, then do arpusing. Kune Aiko's Nimbus, the English of that will be arpusing, but it's not released yet. And like I said, the voice banks I'm working on are also going to be arpusing. And yeah. And then Exampa is a third system of recording for English that is derived from the Exampa phonetic system. I don't really have much to say about this one. I don't really use it. Famous example though is Kasane Dato. And knowing what kind of voice bank it is actually pretty well tells you what phonemizer to use in OpenUTAU. CV doesn't have a specific phonemizer, but you can use the CVVC or VCV CVVC ones for that, and it works just fine. Whereas all the other styles have dedicated phonemizers. So I'm actually going to open up OpenUTAU. This is OpenUTAU Bunai edition. And just show. So go to the I like the organization of standard OpenUTAU for phonemizers better because it's organized by language rather than Voicebank type, and that makes a lot more sense. So I'm actually going to switch OpenUTAU versions because I have both. So we go down to Japanese and you see the CVVC, VCV, and VCV, CVVC, although both CVVC and VCV work with VCV, CVVC. In fact, I personally recommend VCV, CVVC for Japanese in general because it automatically makes the voice bank, takes everything of the voice bank to make it sing as smooth as possible. Even a CV like Defoco actually has some special phonemes, special vowels to help with smoothness. It also automatically converts it from Romaji to hiragana, no matter the voice bank, unless there are no, phonemes in hiragana, which is another reason why I recommend it. It automatically does that, and you don't have to go up to batch edit, lyrics, Romaji to hiragana. You can just do it in hiragana and it'll work. And this is Teto's Japanese integration voice bank for OpenUTAU. This is what it looks like. I did not notice what one it was on. Okay. And it looks like this, and you can do it on it is probably the smartest because, as you could see there, when I clicked on strain, it automatically put a VC phoneme in right before it. Which is part of why her OpenUTAU voice bank is set up the way it is. And it is something that I will also be taking advantage of in the full release of my own UTAUs, because it's really smart. It also does the same thing for vocal fry. But anything that has a VCV entry, it does a VCV entry on the previous. So, yeah, that's it. Bye.